And a warm welcome to everybody. I'm Sheila Ramakrishnan, and I'm an engineer in the biopharma industry. I'm also an art of living teacher and writer. And it's my great pleasure to have a cozy chat today. Um, and I'm going to tag team this conversation with Priyanka Srivastava. Priyanka, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hey, hello everyone. I am joining you from Bay Area. I'm a professor of marketing and analytics at a business school, and I'm mother of two kids. So I have two daughters, 5 years old and 12 years old, and I'm looking forward to our interaction together. Thank you for planning this session.
And we are so blessed on this blessed channel to have Shreya Shah, a dynamic teacher from Canada. Shreya, you always have a smile on your face, and we just can't wait to talk to you today. We know you're a busy girl. Thank you so much for making the time.
Thank you for the invite. I'm happy to be here.
And Shreya, you're a long time teacher, even for your young years. I think you must have gotten into these programs from a young age. And I actually want to talk about the youth because the youth is our future. I know you're a very passionate program. You teach pretty much everything, but I know I think of you as a just a wonderful youth teacher, and I'd like to explore that aspect maybe first. It's been a while, so I'm going to kind of hand that ball to Priyanka to kind of get the conversation started. But actually, before I do, one question has come to me that we need to start with, and that is, what is blessing mean for you? It's the blessed channel. Anything that you may feel about blessing or being blessed.
Blessing. Yeah, I feel very blessed. So I would say for me personally, blessing is like it's a feeling, right? When um and it can be through good times when everything's going your way, and you have everything you need, and you feel abundance, and you feel health, and you feel well, and your mind and your emotions and everything's feeling good. So it's easy at that time to feel blessed. But feeling blessed even when you're going through hard times, and having that mindset where you can look at things in a positive manner, um, that in itself is a blessing. It's an energy, right, that you carry when you walk around feeling blessed. I feel that life becomes that way. More nice things happen to you. It's like luck. It's like attracting luck when you feel blessed.
That is so beautifully expressed. Thank you for starting us on that note. And I think many of us feel that the youth, there are blessings for a better world tomorrow. So over to you, Priyanka, with your fresh experience of having two young ones.
Yeah, so I wear two hats here, Shreya. One as a mother of 5-year-old, 12-year-old, and other one as a professor who handles kids. I call them kids, but these are grown-up people who want to get into industry and start working. So people who are doing their master's level courses, okay, and I feel that meditation plays a huge role to handle different situations that kids and grown-ups face, right? So I wanted to ask you, is should we adapt meditation techniques to various age groups, say 5-year-old, 12-year-old versus 25-year-old. Um, what is your insight in that,
Yeah.
area?
So, I've been teaching children's programs, youth programs for, I would say, almost 18 years now. And uh, so we have different age group programs. So we start them off from the age of around 8, which is kind of when children start understanding negative emotions and what stress is, and things like that. So from the age of 8 to 12, there's a program that we have here in North America. We call it the Sky Kids program. And then we have the 13 to 17-year-old youth programs. Those are called the Sky Teens programs. And then 18 plus is the adult programs. Now, the founder of our organization, Gurudev Shri Shri Ravi Shankar ji has said many times that, youth these days are really, they're either in a state of aggression or in a state of depression. It's very hard to find youth that are balanced or in between, and I totally related to that. Even 20 years ago, when I did my first Sudarshan Kriya program, um, I at that point I think I was very much in a space of aggression, but I was going through like states of aggression and states of depression, because at school or at home, nowhere was I taught, or even youth these days, nowhere are we taught how to manage our mind and our negative emotions, right? So I used to have a lot of anger, and I was constantly told, anger is not good, stop being angry, stop being annoyed, stop being so aggressive. But when that emotion would hit me, I had zero control over myself. So I was never taught how to look after the state of my mind. And so through the programs that I now teach, and first obviously I got help for myself. I learned how to do the breathwork techniques, and that brought a massive revolution for me in my own life. Um, you know, uh, for the first time ever, I felt like, the things that used to trigger me into getting angry, I had control now over my own mind and emotions,
Mm,
instead of external factors having control over me, and that is a huge win in life. If anybody
mm,
finds that, that's a huge win in life. And, so I always felt like this is the best thing that I've ever learned. And everybody needs to know how to do this, which is what started taking me on the path of teacher training and getting trained how to teach these programs. And the rest of the way, just my passion has, sort of propelled me to continue to keep spreading the knowledge of the breath work and the meditation and all that.
mhm. Wow, thank you for explaining it so beautifully. So now let's say we want to introduce a kid to meditation, to breathing technique, right? Uh, what is the ideal session length that we should keep for making a kid to sit and do meditation? What is your recommendation in that area?
So again, like our programs are, they're tailored, and they're so beautiful because kids never get bored when they come to our programs. So like I said, because we have different categories, the different categories, age groups, they learn in different ways. So
Mm,
the programs are tailored to teach them the way that they learn, right? So, for
mm,
example, the kids programs, there's a lot of games, there's stories, it's so much fun. There's a lot of running around and screaming, which kids love doing. And, don't tell anyone, but so do I. So it's ideal for me to like be teaching kids programs because I get to run and scream with them. Um, and so it's just so joyful. It's so fun. And in the middle of like those stories and in the middle of those games, we just sit them down when they're a little bit tired and we'll make them do a little bit of breathing. We'll make them do like a short little meditation, so it's not boring for them. They start understanding that, oh, hang on, like I now have tools with which I can help my own mind and my emotions. When I'm starting to get really angry, I have a tool with which I can control my anger, you know um,
Wow.
and these kind of things are reflected. I can dissect a little bit, digress a little bit, um, in some of the prison programs that I teach. So I remember there was a prison program that I was teaching in Alberta, here in Canada, and one of the guys, he was only 45 years old, and he stood up at the end of the program and he said, uh, he said, where have you guys been? I've been in and out of prison since I was 15. So for 30 years, he had been in and out of prison. And he said, if I had learned how to control my anger earlier on in life, he's like, my temper always got me in trouble. He's like, if I had learned how to control my temper earlier on in life, then I wouldn't have this huge, track record of being in and out of prison for so many years of my life. He's like, now I feel like I have control over my mind and emotions. So
Oh,
that's how important it is to teach them when they're young, you
That's
know.
right. Getting this in their
yeah.
hands as soon as we can, having these tangible tools.
Yeah.
Uh,
Mhm.
so
Yeah,
important.
this is, yeah, super powerful. Yeah,
So,
thank you so much
so
for reminding.
sorry, to go
Yeah.
back to your question, we have 4-day programs for kids, and they're approximately 2 to 3 hours a day. And that's good. And then they learn a home practice, which they can do on a daily basis. Which is very important because you need a practice that you can do on a daily basis, to refresh your mind every day.
Hmm. So to your point, thank you for highlighting that they should practice, every day. Now, wearing hat of a mother, one who has to tell kid and remind the kid constantly that, what, you have to practice. What strategies should parents take, if they have to introduce meditation or breathing technique as a daily part of kids' routine? It should not sound like a homework to their kids, but it should still be kept in the routine. How can we parents inculcate it?
Absolutely. I can't tell you over the course of these past 18 odd years how many parents have asked me that question. And
Yeah.
but there's two things that I normally say, right? One is monkey see, monkey do. Okay. If kids are watching the parents making their own practice a priority, then they will understand that this is something that I need to give time and attention to. Right. So one thing is, kids watching, they're watching you, they're sponges, they're absorbing everything around them. So, when you give priority to your practice as a parent and you model that, they will understand that this is actually very important and I have to do it. And the second thing is, look, no matter what happens, you will not let your child leave the house without brushing their teeth. True or not?
Mhm.
Right? You will not let them wear the same clothes for 4 days, right? So there's physical hygiene, there's dental hygiene, so this is only mental hygiene, right? So in the beginning, it might take a little discipline to get them into a routine with it, but I assure you, over time, they adapt to it and they start enjoying it and they start liking it. And then it's not like, oh God, I have to do this. It's like, oh yeah, okay, you know what? I got to sit and do my meditation. I need to do my breath work now. So over time, that does happen. And if that doesn't happen, it's okay. I tell parents, like, don't force them to do it.
Yeah.
Don't, like, harass them into it. Uh, but the seed has been sown in them, and they understand that, you know what, I have these tools, they're embedded in me already. So when things get really hard for them, or they hit a rough patch in their lives at some point, they will have these tools as something that they'll go back to.
Mm.
And again, this is something I've seen over and over again. Some kids that have done programs with me like many years ago, they might have dropped off, they've drifted off, they've gone through high school, they've gone through university, and now as adults, some of them coming back and they're like, yeah, I did it so many years ago and then I didn't follow up, I left the practice, but now I really feel like I want to do it again. So at least that seed is there, that okay, I know that there's a way for me to help myself.
Yeah, yeah, this is super helpful. The next question that comes to my mind, and I think parents who have more than one kid will also think on the same lines. Do you think that kids of different age groups, and here I cater to a wide age group, right, 7 years apart, but do you think that kids of different age group can practice together, or there has to be a different technique, different method applied? And
So with the programs we teach the Sky kids, the little ones, their practice is very short. It's less than 10 minutes. And the older kids, their practice is about 15 to 17 minutes.
okay.
So, it's better for them to do it apart. Um, Also, if they're going, like, they might distract each other, when they're sitting in the same room and doing it. um, but sometimes I say to the parents, look, you just say to them, okay, I'm going to go to my room and do my practice, you can come sit next to me and do yours if you want, right?
Yeah.
uh, so that's something, like, just to get them into a habit of doing their practice. So you can just and you do it consistently every day over many weeks, and then suddenly one day they'll be like, God, she's going to ask me again, I might as well go sit and do it,
Yeah.
right? And then you'll see, like, that'll start becoming a habit.
Yeah, that's very handy tool, handy tip that you're giving me. Yeah, and then we keep hearing, which was not so popular early, but now we keep hearing that kids are in stress, and even a fifth grader, eighth grader, ninth grader talk about stress, and I feel bad about it. But can you suggest some stories which you came across as part of being a teacher, that you helped a kid and they came out of a situation that they were facing?
Yeah. I mean, stories, like, there's n number of stories,
Yeah.
but just making sure that they get this knowledge early on, and then the parents also being on the path, the parents also sort of instilling those values in the children. All these things are important, and over time they take to it over time.
When you were saying, Priyanka, about the stress, I was thinking of how the world changed a few years ago with the pandemic that really put stress on the world. And I was thinking how particularly it may have impacted the youth or even college kids. Things went to online. They didn't have that in-person kind of normal way that maybe all of us grew up with. How do you think something like that affected? And perhaps I'll ask both of you because you may have some both have perspectives there.
Mhm. Priyanka, you want to go first?
Yeah, so I mean, that year is still very vivid in front of me. My 12-year-old was a second grader then, so very small, and I asked her to spend time in front of screen whole day, so just to take her lessons. And this was very different from how I used to be. I was like, no screen time for you. I cannot exceed it half an hour, more than half an hour in a day. And there I'm saying, no, now your classes are there. Please pay attention to what is happening on screen. And, trying to make her catch up things. Which a second grader might not feel like doing, right, in front of school, in front of screen, and going through the discussion with her classmates and teachers. So that was one piece that was going on. The other piece that was going on is me myself getting into a classroom in a different room and in front of other screen, and then taking going through business analytics, which you feel that, oh no, it's you're making them learn programming skills and analytical skills, and it cannot happen online, and it's very different for them too. But I feel, in that particular time period, I believe my practice came for my rescue. I definitely believe more on, going back to the practice, and knowing that, we are agile enough to take up any situation and change accordingly. So yes, I do definitely recollect it as a very stressful time where the practice definitely helped. Yeah.
Mm.
Would like to hear from you, Shreya, your experience.
Yeah. Personally, for me, pandemic was a bit of a relief because I was constantly on the road for, you know, months and months and weeks. And in fact, for years, I've been, I've been traveling a lot, teaching programs all over. Um, so to actually be locked into one place for a while was very refreshing and rejuvenating for me. Obviously the opposites are always, um, but it did have a huge impact on kids, being in front of screens all day. Um, and in this day and age, kids have very different challenges from the challenges we grew up with, right? First of all, like, I mean, for myself anyway, I didn't grow up with a cell phone. I didn't have a cell phone until I was at university. That's when it started getting popular, at the risk of giving away my age. But, um, so and the things that they're exposed to, it's very difficult for them because emotionally, physically, they're not mature enough to digest the things that they are watching online or they're reading online, or the things, because it's very difficult to sort of for the parents to put those controls in place. If they're in front of screens, you just don't know what they're being exposed to. And I remember like something like, I remember having a pen pal, and I used to wait for weeks and weeks to receive a letter from a pen pal. And there was something so sweet about that. There was something so nice about the waiting and the longing to get a letter that I could read. And I would read it with so much joy and with so much, there was something very beautiful about that. But now it's the days of instant gratification. You know, everything is right here, right now, and it's done. So somewhere, you know, they that thing is missing somewhere for them. Everything's right here, right now, and that's how the expectation of life is as well. I want something, I'll get it just right away. So that resilience and that sort of perseverance of working towards something consistently for a while, yeah, that's something I've seen kids struggling with, because everything's just right here for you, done in an instant.
And
Mhm.
even I think kids, they seem to grow up so fast in today's world, and I feel like there was a simpler time when they would just go out and play outside and things like that. And when I had talked to you in the past, you were telling me how the Canada ashram has a beautiful program for kids in summer called, living up to its name, Camp Santosh or Happiness. Um, Tell us about that, because you have a beautiful place there in the
Absolutely.
ashram.
Yeah, so Camp Santosh is it's very, very close to my heart. It's a couple of years that there's another teacher. His name is Mark Fry. He's one of the founding directors, and he's been sort of co-directing this camp for a couple of years now. This year we had the most number of kids. We had 65 kids over 2 weeks, and yeah, it's basically a traditional sleepaway summer camp, but it also has the programs. So in the morning, a couple of hours, we do the programs with the kids where they learn yoga, they learn breath work, they learn meditation. Those human values are rekindled in them. They learn leadership qualities, how to get along with each other. There's so many things. The one of the really nice things that we have at camp is that it's a screen-free camp. So no devices, no phones, no tablets, no computers, like none of that, right? So I feel almost like parents have a hard time more than the kids. No, because the parents are like, oh my God, I need to know how my kid is doing. And we're like, listen, he doesn't even remember you right now. He's having so much fun because he's in the lake, he's jumping in the lake with his friends and he's playing games. And, because we do so many fun things at camp. So, in the evening, we'll have a bonfire, for example, we'll have like vegan s'mores,
Oh,
um,
nice.
some nights we have singing and chanting, which the kids lead and they love it. Um, and any kid that's ever come for camp, they want to come back next year.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so it's a and we have teachers, that come and they teach. We have volunteers from across Canada, and sometimes even the US. They come and they help at camp because you can imagine like 65 kids. We need cooks. We need the whole. So it's one of our favorite times of the year. And our space is beautiful. Our ashram is so beautiful. We have our own lakes, and we have hiking trails here. You can see behind me the fall colors are starting to come through. You can see some of the through the windows.
Beautiful.
uh,
Oh, I I have a special corner for sure for Canada Ashram. That's where I did my teacher training when it was the only North America ashram. Now we have Boone, North Carolina, and we have Texas ashram. We have LA Center, DC Center, but I'll always have a special corner. And Priyanka, come on over, visit us on the East Coast,
yes.
especially fall. Fall is like my favorite season. And I think Gurudev has a special corner for fall in Canada ashram. Um, my mother and I came maybe a couple of years ago, and we just loved it so much. What
Yeah,
a
Gurudev loves when he comes, there's like because we're in the Morrissey region, so, there's waterfalls and there's a national park and everything close by. So he loves going out there and, see the fall colors, and he dips his feet in the river there, in the waterfalls. And obviously we all go along and do what he's doing. Uh, but yeah, it's really nice, and you're both very welcome anytime. In all seasons, actually, it's very beautiful here. It's very unique
Mm-hmm.
every season.
And
So
Gurudev's coming pretty soon, isn't that
yes,
right?
actually, in I would say like 9 days, 10 days, he'll be here from the 9th to the 13th of September. We'll have about 1,000 people a day on premises
Wow.
for
Wow.
the 4 or 5 days he's here. So it's going to get quite intense. Um, but it's going to be amazing.
It's so fun, and that collective energy of everybody when he comes, and advanced programs, kids programs, everything.
We're having a Sanyam 2 for the first time in Canada, so you know, it's very exciting.
Mm. It becomes a magical, moment or magical extended days when he's around and when the courses and satsang is going on. Recently, he visited West Coast as well, and I got an opportunity to attend few programs. So I can imagine, the rise of energy and the magic that gets created in that moment. Yeah.
And especially when you're in your own dedicated space, I think that is the beauty of these ashrams or international centers that have been made all around the world so that people can just come. You step into those that environment and you instantly feel it and you feel at home. The food is amazing. The
Yes.
hospitality just amazing, and you get to meet people from all walks of life and truly make connections and perhaps lifetime friendships. It's
Yeah.
so nice.
We were sitting for lunch the other day, a couple of days back, and we just went around the table and we just saw like how many people from different countries were on the table. And we counted, I think it was 15 languages that were on that.
Wow.
It was about there was like 15 languages that, different people were speaking around. Like, so it's it's really nice because you get to dive into this diverse you know it's, it's
Truly, truly international. I remember when I had first come for the teacher training, and there was a meditation hall there. Um, which was so beautiful. But then I think it's, as you said, so many people starting to come, and there was a need for a bigger meditation hall. I would love to hear from you because I remember you there, and I think you were in the thick of all that with many others. Can you share a few stories, maybe stories of blessing about how the ashram had expanded and with this beautiful new meditation hall that
yeah.
was built.
um so Gurudev has said before as well. He says every time we build a new hall, it's too small for us. And that has also been true for the one that we built here. um the one that we always used to use, I think the capacity was about 300 people in there. And we had long outgrown it. So then we used to have these temporary tents that we used to put around the premises. And each one of the tents would take about 150 200 people as well. And then, Gurudev said, well, we should have, a permanent space, like we should build something. And so, it was cognized that we'll build the hall. And I think it was about 10 years ago that, it was built. And yeah, the capacity is about, I believe, about 2.5 to 3,000 people can fit in there. And you know, including all the visitors and everybody, it's going to be completely full this time. So
Mm.
I can.
completely like, Gurudev's intention, and then the blessings are there, and then it manifests.
That is beautiful. And I think just how the community comes together. Art of Living is a volunteer run organization. And so all hands coming and helping. I remember when my boys were small and we had gone to Canada. Um, Everybody was helping. And actually, my younger one, who is now in the field of construction, in construction management, and maybe going to start his own company, he remembers helping, hammer something or whatever,
Wow.
that big meditation hall. And I just remember that inauguration of the place. It was so peaceful, so amazing, and how everybody had come to be part of it.
Yes. Here, like the energy is very high in this space, at this ashram. Um it's hard to explain, but you know you've experienced it. It's you come here and you become very present, you know. Your mind becomes very present. The outside world is there, but it's not sitting in your head, and you don't have lots of worries and thoughts and all of this. You become very present and you start doing all the things that you need to do, just, you know, happily, like.
Mhm. Yeah.
I think when you had started to describe your experience of coming into Art of Living, maybe at that time, I know you grew up in Kenya, and how you came onto the path and something shifted, and then did you just know this is what you wanted to do for your profession, or perhaps you started somewhere and then you shifted and knew that it was your calling.
Yeah, I worked in the field of investment banking for a good number of years. Um, but there was no, like, what they call, everyone's looking for job satisfaction, I never really found any job satisfaction, or it was like something I had to do, so I was doing it, something that was expected of me, and so this is what I'm going to do. But to be honest, ever since I was little, I was always involved in service activities, because my father was a member of the Lions Club in Kenya, and for many years he was the president there as well, in Nairobi. And so almost every weekend for us was a service weekend, so it was always going out and doing acts of service, and serving the community that we lived in. And because there was such a big need, there was no dearth uh, you know uh, of work to do. um, so I grew up with that mindset that of course you have to serve. You have privilege, you have health, you have wealth, you have privilege. So of course you're supposed to serve. You're supposed to give back to the community that you live in. Um, so when and when I went to university and I graduated, and so all of that had stopped. And when I came back, when I came to the Art of Living, and that aspect came back, of service, of giving back, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm like, this is what I was missing. This is why I wasn't finding fulfillment, because fulfillment is not in a job. It's not, there's nothing like job satisfaction. It's only in service. It's in when you give, unconditionally, without expecting anything in return. That's where fulfillment is. That's where you feel like you're actually living. That was my experience. And so it wasn't any, like, a hard and fast thing in my head that, this is the way that I want to go down. Or organically, my life just moved in a way where I ended up, teaching more and more and more, and eventually, being full time with the Art of Living. Yeah.
Mhm.
Amazing. And you expressed it so beautifully with service, or Sanskrit word seva. Even on the courses, there's that element, and it's just so meaningful to give versus, many times in society we are trained to receive, but when we give, that's when the joy
Yeah.
comes, and
Yeah,
it's
you
similar.
framed it really well. Yeah, I mean, everyone is in search of job satisfaction, right? We keep searching for new jobs and changing jobs, and saying that, oh no, maybe the manager is not good, and so on and so forth. But I will definitely anchor upon the statement that you just made, that it is not about job satisfaction. It is about fulfillment, and fulfillment comes when you give
Comes
back,
from
right?
Seva.
Give back to the community. Wow.
and
Thank you
and
so much for
it's,
framing it so nicely. Yeah.
yeah, and I'd like to say here, it's not one or the other. For me, my path was just this way, where organically, I went more into service activities. Also because I didn't really have that many responsibilities, so I didn't have like, I'm not married. I don't have children to look after, any of that. So it wasn't that hard for me to do. But, you know, there should be, the middle path, right? Like there should be both. You can, having some service in life, like when you do give a couple of hours a week, then it brings you that satisfaction or that fulfillment that maybe the job is not giving you.
Hmm. Yeah.
That's
It makes your life wholesome, right?
Yeah.
And that is what everyone is searching for.
Yeah.
We strive for that, but we don't know how to, find that missing link in the Lego block and make it complete. Yeah.
to fulfillment, and I think also connection and community. That was something too that I noticed when I had come into these programs, and just how you just connect with people on that same level. We might call it satsang. And I remember those very nice satsangs that we used to have and still have in the ashram. Tell us a little bit about satsang, because I think you guys have satsang pretty often over
We have
there.
satsang every night.
Oh,
Yeah, satsang every single night. It's literally the best way to end your day. You've had a full day of work. Because a lot of times work is very left brain. It's analyzing, it's calculating, it's a lot of left brain activity. Satsang, you go, you sit down, you close your eyes, you can meditate. The chants are going on, and they just wash over you. And people do all kinds of things. You can choose to get up and dance. You feel a lot of energy. Some people just want to sit and close their eyes and meditate and rest. But it really is, it's now the right brain activity. So it just helps to calm you, relax you. It brings so much joy. It brings a lot of joy, it brings a lot of happiness. And right now, at the end of satsang, like in preparation for Sayam 2, the program that's coming up, we're also watching some knowledge videos in the evening.
yeah,
So when whatever might have happened in the day, you might have had a fight with someone. It's inevitable. It's okay. It happens. You might have had an argument. You might have had an email that wasn't very pleasant. People didn't do exactly what you wanted them to do, or so whatever little things that happen during the day that are sitting in your mind, satsang gives you an opportunity to just let it go, sit there, rest, let it go. Bring your energy back up into a positive, blissful state. Listen to some knowledge, from Gurudev, that again will help you cope with whatever it is that you're going through in life. And then you sleep, and then after that you go to sleep, and you go to sleep with this pleasant, lovely, happy, joyful state of mind, instead of the grumbling and the worries and the sadness or the fears or whatever is sitting in the head. Instead of that, you sleep with this nice, happy, peaceful state of mind. So your sleep is deeper, you feel better, and then you wake up feeling that way. So instead of waking up feeling anything negative, you wake up feeling joyful and energized, and you want to hit the day again. So it's really the perfect way to end the day.
that's beautiful. I didn't realize it was every day over there, because I've, tuned in sometimes when you guys have it online.
We
And
have it live every Thursday, but we do it every day for sure.
oh, that's wonderful. And
Even if there's two of us, still sit and we'll sing.
that's right. It doesn't matter. We just get in that
Yeah.
space, the knowledge, Gurudev's knowledge. And you guys are so fortunate to have Swami Sadyojataha right there, also giving knowledge and teaching programs, and with his very strong presence and knowledgeable presence. What a gift that is for the ashram.
Absolutely. His presence here in the ashram is, I feel it's one of the best things that's happened to us as well. He keeps everyone together like family. You know, if he doesn't see somebody at lunch, he'll ask, "Where is this person? Where are these people?" Or, like it's just, it's like dad's home. It feels really nice when he's here, and yeah, just a lot of love, and again, the knowledge and all of that. It's very nice having him here.
And it does truly feel like some are ashramites. They live there, and it truly seems to feel like a family. So
It
what
is,
a blessing
absolutely.
that.
Everyone looks after each other.
Yeah, nice. One more aspect I wanted to just touch on, because this blessed channel also has sacred music, and some of us have been lucky enough to go to some of these Art of Living events over the years, World Culture Festival, really something to be experienced. And I remember Canada really always, I mean, could many countries involved, 180 countries. But I remember some of the Canada representation on those performances with the native Canadians, and them chanting and dancing. Um, have you been on many of these World Culture Festivals?
Yeah, I think except the except the one that we had in Berlin, I've been to all of them, um, which is what, three now or four, something like that.
Something like
Yeah, I was there. I was there for the last one as well, and
I saw you there. I remember
yeah, yeah.
in DC. That's
And
right.
yeah, I mean, it went by so fast, and we were anticipating for it for so long, and we were preparing it for so long, and there was so much excitement around it. And then to go there and see it happen in person, literally, people from 180 countries coming together for peace, for happiness, for joy, like for such a great cause. Um, and standing up for peace, because there's too much going on the planet right now, that's so negative. So many people coming together and meditating, with Gurudev. I remember distinctly uh, the meditation that Gurudev led, with all of those people. It was pin drop silence. There's something like what, 1.2 million people or something had gathered, and it was pin drop silence, right? Um, and then there was like this little sprinkling of, there was a light, like a sprinkling shower, like a little bit of a rain that came down, like very slight, very little, but it just felt like such a blessing at that point, when that little sprinkling came down, and I just sat there thinking, my God, I feel like I'm part of the most incredible movement in history. um, and yeah, again, just felt blessed to be there and be a part of it. And um, it was an incredible event for sure.
And I know we started our discussion with youth and families. I just want to say we've got a World Culture Festival coming in this coming year, 2026. What an amazing experience it is for kids and families to see that breadth of diversity and culture. Just just go wherever it is. It could be like a once in a lifetime kind of an experience. They will remember such a magnificent kind of thing. So I don't know. I haven't heard the final rumblings of where it
There
is.
it is. Yeah, everyone's just waiting with bated breath, like where is it going to be? Like, I'm going to book my flights. But one of the best things, like one of the most incredible things about the Art of Living Foundation, I find, is this, what Gurudev likes to say, Vasudeva Kutumbakam, right? One world family. We're not separate from each other. We're not different from each other. this is the only planet we have. We have to look after each other, right? There's nowhere else to go. Harmony in diversity. It doesn't have to, our differences don't have to divide us. Our differences, we can celebrate our differences and learn from each other and love each other and enjoy the differences that everybody has. He says so beautifully, he says, uh, deepen your roots and widen your horizons, right? Like, get to know who you are, deepen your roots. Where do you come from? What does your culture look like? Learn your music, learn your songs, learn your dance, learn your cuisine, your food, learn all of that. But at the same time, embrace what every other culture also has to offer, because it's just as rich, just as beautiful, and that is the vision that every child needs in order to make, Gurudev's vision of a stress-free, violence-free society come true,
Right.
right? So this is how, my little brain understands it, and this is kind of the energy with which I go into youth programs, to bring that mindset of, listen, we're not all different, we're all unique, and we're all together on this one little floating rock around the sun, and we have to look after each other. There's nowhere else for us to go. We draw these imaginary boundaries on this rock that's floating around the around the sun, and we fight about them. And so having a bigger vision is what Gurudev wants everyone to have, right? So
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful way to end this wonderful session with you. We can see how you are so ever youthful, ever dynamic, all the energy. We just want to come into your presence. And thank you, Priyanka, for all of your insights and your time too. And just hoping we'll get to meet each other soon somewhere. And maybe
Yes.
maybe when Gurudev comes or in World Culture Festival.
yes,
Thank you so much, everybody.
thank you.
Yeah.
As
Thank you so
secret
much.
is to run and scream with kids. Just run and scream.
On
And this
that
is
note,
also
let's
for
go do
That,
some running and screaming.
yeah,
Thank
that
you.
talks a lot about the shine on your face and the smile there.
fun.
So-
Thank you so much, you guys.
Bye for now. Thank you.
Thank you.